Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How is everyone doing? I hope you all are well, in the best of health, in the best of states, as we carry on in our new episode of The Pursuit for Meaning. Before I start this new episode, I first want to make an apology. And this apology is because I did not do proper and thorough research with regards to my QUASA episode. So I want to apologize to whomever and whoever that might be affected by that video. So what did I get wrong? After I released the video, a few people messaged me and texted me and told me, what up? You're a bit behind the times. I said, like, what do you mean? And he said, this guy, this religious advisor, has come out of the closet. He has come out of the closet. He's not hiding no more. He's not hiding his face. He's out there proclaiming his queerness. And he said, didn't you see? Didn't you see the pinkdot speech he did? So, I guess I want to apologize for that. That I did not do the proper and thorough research to uncover and find out, like how far this thing has gone. Maybe it's because of my naivety, because I really was hopeful that he did not come out of the closet. He did not come out open to open. That I was hoping that he changed his mind or would change his mind in the future. Unfortunately, religious advisor is now not afraid no more. He's not afraid for his family, Yeah, I'm sure he's as far as check, his family is doing okay. See, I told you, religious advisor, things will be okay. And then I also, want to apologize to Green Kabaya Irie that, that I said what I said. Maybe I'm not, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, so this guy, religious advisor, his name is Asfar. So he was from Madrasa Al Junid, and then he went to Cairo to study. He got a scholarship to go to London to pursue his studies, and but he was really kind of known to be, was suspected to have these tendencies back then, And then when he went to UK, he kind of got exposed. His tingling sensations came out in UK. In UK, his dad plays in Oxford. If you do not have right guidance, it's kind of finished. Especially if in that place where there's if this even comes to me to like ask myself, like this guy, he went through Cairo, he went to Darul Uloom, studied there, he went to Madrasa Al Junid, and it's kind of strange for me to say that he did not have the understandings, but what does it tell you? This is one of the realities of our of life, is that information or going through the motions of things does not mean anything if you do not have that belief in it. How this happened, Allahu Alam. I don't know, guess. I don't know, go into these kind of things, but it really shows a real significant thing about the human being. And I used to work, I don't know, work. I used to hang out a lot in Arab Street. My brother had a shop there. And being in Arab Street, you meet a lot of Arabs, you have restaurants on there. And so when I was there, I used to sit outside, and I meet people. And me, I sometimes do quite strange stuff. I used to like sing some poetry in Arabic, of Sheikh Al Habib. And then there's one guy I met. I remember meeting. His name is, I forgot his name, but he was a Moroccan guy. He's a Moroccan guy. And then he met me. He sat down with me and he said, like, how are you? Talking to me in English. Wanted to learn English. And then we came and had a conversation. And he said, and then found out he memorized the entire Quran. This guy from Morocco. He memorized the entire Quran. And then he also went to madrasa. You know, he went to madrasa, and then he went to madrasa. He memorized Darba'in, Imam Nawawi's 40 hadith. He completed his Islamic studies. We say like somewhat same like this guy, religious advisor. And then what happened with him was that he was actually sent by the Moroccan government to Malaysia for Quran studies, for a Quran recitation competition. That's what he told me. And then when he got to Malaysia, he thought it was a Muslim country. He was told it was a Muslim country, so he came there. And then when he was there, he met with a series of a lot of unfortunate events. And this series of unfortunate events led him to lose all of his faith. And I was sitting with him, talking to him, and that shined the brightest to me. That reality, that information means nothing. Going through the processes, going through all of this stuff, learning, studying, it does not mean anything if your heart is not in the right place. And one of these things how that thing happened, and what happened to this Moroccan guy was a very important thing for me, because he had an image, an idea of what life was, a picture that he had in his mind. And when reality and test came, it broke him. It broke him. And we see this, actually. We see this with many people. We see people who, when challenges come, they break. And some of them become stronger. Some of them lose everything. And I don't want to psychoanalyze religious advisor Asfar, but the reality is, I would say something similar. For sure. There were situations and moments of his life, when I look at him, and his movements, he bounces a lot, he have like one line statements. I haven't spoken to any of his like colleagues in school to find out like who was he in school. Maybe I should, to have a better idea of who he was, and then we can expound on this character called the religious advisor. But before we carry on, I just want to say something. I don't feel comfortable, actually, to speak about an individual like this. Really, I don't feel comfortable at all. Because, um, hiding the faults of people is something very important. Because, like for myself even, like we all have like skeletons in our closet. Some big, some small, some massive. And one of the things which I've learned is that when you and if people were to know your skeletons, they won't look at you the same way at all. But it's not about people anyway. This is about the end of time. It's about the day of judgment. the Prophet ﷺ said that if you hide and shield others' faults, Allah will hide and shield your faults in Akhirah, in the day of judgment. In a day where all of our deeds that we thought no one knew, all of the things that we thought we could hide, on that day everyone will see. You will like show on like, if you want to put it in like something you can imagine, the entire human existence, we were watching the stories of our life unfold before, and a person who exposes people's faults for no apparent cause. Let me give you an example. Like you saw this one guy, he's quite like religious in a sense, and then you saw him like drinking, and then you wait outside, you take a photo, took the photo, and then the next time he posts something about something, you just start sharing it out, like, look at him, he's a drinker, how can he say this, that's the problem. The person might be going through something very difficult, and it's part of, and a very important thing for us to hide each other's faults, no matter who they are, what they're doing. Yeah, even though you see someone doing something wrong, it's important for us to shield and hide the faults. But for this religious advisor, it's a bit different. He is out there encouraging and encouraging deviancy. Even though he's doing that, I still feel uncomfortable. Because I hope and pray that this guy will change his mind, and I don't want, and I hope that like things like this be a means for him to reflect and change. But anyway, I was thinking hard about it for a while, and I think it's okay, not too bad to do this. Most importantly, I don't this doesn't come from a space of hate or anything like that. It comes from concern, and unfortunately, this guy has chosen to do what he does, and it's important for us to educate people to see what is really going on, and to make sure that our families understand the landscape and realities of the world today, and that we must be careful about their influences and what is going on around the world. The handphones and telephones that we give to our children is a portal to the world, and you can't hide the world from them. Especially people who give their phones to their children. I'm sure kids at like 10 years old, 11 years old, you can speak to them. When I was 10 or 11, I had no idea of the terminologies of virginity, lesbianism, blah blah blah, all these terminologies. But ask a 10-year-old kid now who has a telephone. Ask them, what does these terms mean? So, I think most of us don't dare to ask because we're not ready for such things, because we chose the easy way out. But anyway, that's a topic for another time. And I think it's a very important topic, but we'll deal with that another time. So protecting our family is important. This is the only reason why I'm doing this. It's because I since coming here in Australia, I've seen the beast, put it like that. I've seen the beast in its full manifestation, and how it looks like, and what it stands for, and what it means for us. And I know where it can go. And it's like this: if I've walked down the road, for example, I've walked down the road, and I've looked and see what is at the end of the road, and I'm running back and telling you guys, this way, don't go there, So that's all I'm doing. This way, don't go there. That's all I'm doing. And unfortunately, some of our people have gone down that road. And the unfortunate reality is there will be more people who have gone down that road and don't want to come back. We will lose family members. We will lose people who we love to this ideology. We will lose people who believe in such things. Um, but that does not mean we can give up and move and give up and stop teaching and stop sharing this. So that is all I'm saying. And the circumstances of people going down that road is going to manifest itself in 5 years, 10 years down the road in ways that we can never imagine. Yeah, so it's very important for us to educate and to share with people what is this all about. And that is my only reason, whatever I'm sharing with you, say over here, does not equate any violent stuff. A Muslim is not allowed to do any vigilantism. We are supposed to deal with things intellectually, spiritually, with the best of ways. We should protect our families. We have the right to protect our families. A responsibility more than right, and it's important for us to share whatever we know of the truth. And unfortunately, Rachel's advisor has chose to be a propagator of deviancy. He has propagated an idea of making halal what Allah has made haram, and he's proud of it. And yeah, I wanna share with you guys this video of him speaking about it at the recent 2023 Pink Dot movement, Pink Dot event, Singapore, where he took up the platform to share about what is QUASA, and we'll see. Right, guys, let's go. Let's go. Test.
In case all of you are wondering, I am single. Wow. And to my exes, stop sliding into my IGDM right now. Wow. I am done.
I'm done. He's done, guys. He's petty. Oh my God, let's go. Let's go.
That homosexuality is a choice. They say that gender dysphoria is a choice.
Oh.
They say that we, queer people, have choices.
What?
Look at me.
What?
Look at this melanin. Baby, I was born this way. Yeah. This was not my choice.
Alright, before we go anyway, I just want to pause there. And one thing is very important that we all should do is to give credit where credit is due. So you will probably notice, religious advisor, while he was giving the speech, there's some sort of rhythm and flow to his words. He started off trying to invigorate the crowd, very Martin Luther-esque. When Martin Luther was saying, he invigorated the crowd. He started, try to lift up the crowd and ask them questions. He has like a flow, like a storyline. He's pretty good, like not bad. His choices, how he chooses words it's not too bad. Better than, I think some might argue even better than mine, But unfortunately, one thing that I think he lacks is that his tone and his voice doesn't match, the power that he needs. How he said just now. If you want, let's watch it again.
Look at me.
Look at me.
Look at this melanin.
You see, look at me. Look at this melanin. You know, it doesn't feel right. This is not has that oomph. Can you imagine Martin Luther as he was standing there proclaiming, I have a dream. And he says, I have a dream. And, not the way he did it with like masculinity and gusto. People will not be uplifted and invigorated. So religious advisor, I would definitely encourage you to inject some testosterone. Oh no, don't do injections. We don't want to do that. But maybe you could change your tonality a little bit. Have some sort of flow, because as we all will hear throughout this entire speech, he will go in all the way like that. Should have a bit of. It's not just about using words. You have to have some sort of tonality. And then let's see what else you have to say after that.
Baby, I was born this way.
Oh, this way.
This was not my choice.
Oh, my choice. So, okay, sorry. On a more serious note, this is one of the biggest things that this woke fanatics will say, like especially coming from religious advisor. Like, they will say they don't have a choice. They was born this way, and this kind of things. And this is one of the unfortunate biggest rubbish that they say. Well, why do I say this? Number one is because, historically speaking, people never identified with sexuality. Ever. People just identify themselves as either, usually, to their clans, to where they come from, the lands that they are from, their people, sometimes also beliefs. But today, in our time, what they're saying is that they are now identifying with sexuality. And this has never been done in human existence, only in our current age. But what they are actually trying to say is they're saying that this whole queer ideology, they have no sort of gender like there's no such thing as gender. That's what the whole queer ideology is. There's no such thing as queer. There is gender fluidity, which means that there is no such thing as just man or woman. And so we see in many Western states, they have places where they have up to a few hundreds of pronouns and identities they identify to. And these guys, they are real good. We have these gatherings.
I'm Cody, pronouns em, er, zers, zers. I am a white transmasculine femme non-binary, temporarily mostly able-bodied, neurodivergent, obsessive-compulsive, chronically ill, culturally Jewish, Unitarian Universalist, non-monogamous, demi-low romantic, gray demi-bisexual, survivor of acute and complex trauma, millennial.
I'm Ash, and I'm throwing a gender tea party where we try out different pronouns and honorifics to see how they feel. Today I'm introducing a friend who uses air pronouns. So this is for you if your name is Alex or Elliot. And if those aren't your names but you like these pronouns, this one's for you too. My friend is so cool for coming to my party. It's exciting to get to know him better.
And then they will say, okay guys, today we'll try to identify with certain sexualities, and we'll see if we like it or not. So this is what this is all about, sexuality. And so, because historically, we have not done such things, it's only recently people are doing. Certain people have looked at the data and found this to be very, very strange. Historically, people who I would say I don't even identify, who has such urges, are very low in percentage. Means that probably studies have shown up to maybe 0.9% to 2-3%, or even lower than that, to people who have such inclinations. But today, Gen Z in some countries, especially in some say America, 20% of their children identifying with in their terminology a sexuality that is not normal. 20%, which some states are even finding up to a 4,000% difference in 2 years. This is irrational, and it does not make sense at all. There is a glitch somewhere. There is something that it does not make sense. So there are many experts who are saying that this is not normal. This is not coming out of the closet. I don't know what closet they're talking about, but it's not something which is normal. There is something else which is influencing this. This is not themselves that are doing it. There is something else. And a lot of it is because human beings, before the age of 30 or 29, in some they say when before your frontal cortex has fully developed, is where you are in discovering yourself. And majority of these people who are going through this so-called situation are experiencing these ideologies, and they want to feel belong, they want to feel relevant, and they want, in this world which is going extremely in a direction that is so confusing, they want to feel that they belong somewhere. And what else is there in this world today that makes you feel as though you are something connected to a cause that is greater than yourself? Human beings are like that. They are cause driven, and these people know this. People know this, and so they see these numbers, and when they see kids below the age, people below the age of 29, and even younger, going through in flocks, they know something is not normal. And so when they say this, that that he was born this way, we disagree, and we say a lot of it is choice. A lot of it is choice. People are choosing to do what they are doing. When these people are, it is not conceivable rationally to say that this is okay. Why? Because what they are saying is that I might be born a man, a male, but I do not identify as a male. That my penis, if I'm born with one, is irrelevant to my identity. If I'm born with a womb, that is irrelevant to who I am. I choose who I want to be. We accept there is such thing as that there is some flux in our gender. Like some female can be more masculine, Some female has a bit of they have a bit of mustache, bit more bigger size. We accept. Some men can be feminine. We see this in our history, in our Islamic history as well. There are hadiths talking about the effeminated men. We accept, but what we do not say is there is no such that biological genders that we are born in is separated from our identity. That you cannot remove a man's biological parts from his gender. Everything is just a spectrum, But you cannot say it's irrelevant. If you remove biological markers, what does it mean? It means I can be whoever I want. I can say I am a horse. I can say I am anything I want to be. But why stop at biological markers? Why not say age? Why not say age? Why not? I choose to identify as a 5-year-old boy. Why not? What is it? If biological markers does not define anything, why not age? What stops pedophilia from starting. People who are below the age of 6, for example, 7 years old, who has not developed puberty, now identifies as I'm 18 years old. Is that irrelevant? Biological markers are not necessary. You guys must understand this is what they're saying. This is exactly what they're saying. And you must not fall prey to moralistic, emotional propaganda. Don't fall for this. This is very important. Because if you do not understand where this is leading, the logical conclusions of things, you will be swept aside and fall and you know, and things will get messy. So when they say they don't have a choice, this is what they're saying. But don't get mistaken. They have a choice. And what they mean by whatever they mean is a whole different story. Anyway, let's carry on.
When I was in the UK for my studies and was outed and ostracized by my own community of faith, that was not my choice.
So, as you probably heard, I was mentioning earlier, he actually was ousted because he came out as whatever he came out as, and then from whatever I heard is that he then his scholarship was pulled back, taken away. If I'm not wrong, someone can correct me if I'm saying something wrong. Apologize in advance if I say something wrong. But yeah, he was taken out, and then but he still completed some sort of studies, I guess. No matter how irrelevant the study is.
And when I came back in 2019 to Singapore, when I didn't feel like I have a community to feel safe within, a place of worship I couldn't be myself in.
You know, what is that to say? I don't know what to say about that. You know, these people, what they want is for you to accept their sexuality, to affirm their sexuality. Like if I feel like today I wanna identify as a cat rapist or cat loving human being, you should have the humanity to give me some space and to make me feel at home with my sexuality. These people does not want to submit. They don't want. They have made gods out of themselves. It's quite relevant, quite apparent here. You know, he does not want. He does not accept when people say no to him. He wants you to say yes to him, because if you don't say yes to me, means you are a bigot and you are doing something which is inhumane, immoral, and wrong. You know, you bigots, you did not make me feel at home because I want to explore my cat loving inclinations.
Or appear as myself in. Or when I feel like I didn't have a family or friends I could turn to and upon whom I could lean.
See, he's talking. You know, unfortunately, the crowd at this point kind of like the first few sentences they were like yeah, but after a while they like see alamak, like we be weak this guy, we you know, he couldn't resist his like, you know, that kind of tendencies, and they kind of like you know, not too much this guy.
Those were not by choice.
They don't understand. I think they don't understand. Like maybe he's too poetic for them, you know, or maybe his lingo, his tonality that just make them like doesn't match. This image, these sounds, these words mix up, don't match.
My friends, as queer people, we share this experience of mine. As queer people, we withstand every hate, every hurt, and every pain at the hands of those who profess to have spirituality, who profess to have morality, at the hands of those who profess to have fair policies.
So, in these 3 lines, profess to have spirituality, profess to have morality, profess to have fair policies. The first two, he's punching the Muslim community, of course. That's what I like to do. Like, like punch these guys, it doesn't matter, stab them on their faces, just like Green Book Kabaya Irie, like it is irrelevant. Yeah, so this one thing for sure is that when he says like these people who profess to have spirituality, profess to have morality, he believes in a whole different kind of spirituality. He believes in a whole different kind of morality, and we ask the question: what is your morality founded on? What is your spirituality founded on? Religious advisor, please tell me. What are your foundations of spirituality and morality? Who are your prophets and your truth, objective truth points of what is morality and what is spiritual? Who determines what is true and good for you? Who do you believe? Because it seems to me, a religious advisor, that the Muslim community's perspective of our perspective of who is and what is the understanding of what is truth, what is morality, and what is spiritual, it does not fit and is lacking in your perspective. It's not right. It's not moral from your lingo, and it's not spiritual from your lingo. It's quite clear. Like when I look into our Muslim community, even though we have our weaknesses, no Muslim will claim perfection. This is a stupidity if we think that. Everyone is a work in progress. Everyone has we as a Muslim community, every country has our challenges, and we are working towards a better situation. However, I think we can accept that we are not going too far away from our understandings of what is true and what's right. Even though there might be some people who are sellouts and who might try to appease global elites, to make themselves relevant. However, as a whole, Alhamdulillah, Muslim community are not like that. So, what are your standards, religious advisor? Who are your prophets? Seems to me that you have a different prophet. Seems to me that the morality that you hold on to and the spirituality that you hold on to is a bit different from ours. Can you please tell us who is and what are they and why is it true and why should we believe it? And the next part about fair things is just going at the dick the Singapore government, I guess. But let the government deal with that. I have nothing to say about that.
So what choice do we have as queer people? To go through this test called life, the only choice we have is to survive.
Survive.
To
See his
stand
words.
it all.
Withstand it all.
Pretend like we didn't hear the name callings. To grow thicker skin against the mockings. To
Mockings?
return our divas
You divas?
on the song lyrics to shake it off. To not let them break my soul.
Not break my soul.
To make it through the rain, through the fire, to reclaim our power.
Power! Power!
With my fellow 6 queer Malay Muslim friends, we made a choice.
Hey, Miss Azwa. Miss Azwa. Don't say it like that. Just say you're Malays. Even, there are also studies from like really notable scholars who say like Malay, the idea of Malay and Muslimness are like together. But never mind, we'll skip that. That's not the topic I want to talk about. Malay, Muslim. I just think you should stick the word Malay, bro. Because our ethics seems to be very different. It's, like I mentioned in the previous video, it's okay. You can you have a choice, right? You have a choice, bro. Like choose. You have the right to choose, bro. No one's stopping you. No one's gonna hurt you. Don't bluff.
Chose to build this organization called QUASA to help people like us, who look like us, who talk like us, who pray like us.
Pray to who?
To found this family.
Who you pray to, as far? Who? Tell me lah. I just want to know. When you say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, what you mean? Can you expound to me, your religious advisor? What is your definition of witnessing there is no God but Allah and Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger? How do you understand Muhammad Rasulullah, religious advisor? How do you understand the relevance of him as a messenger? What does it mean for you that he is a messenger? How do you pray? Do you fall on your knees and pray, to your God, and ask for more rights to more, you ask for guidance on how you want to liberate yourself, from the oppressive Muslim community, and allow you to be victorious over them, so that you can impose on them your deviant beliefs, or in your perspective, your Sirat al-Mustaqim. Is it, Mr. Religious Advisor? Well, definitely love to know.
Who understands us? My friends, Kuasa in Malay means power, but we chose to spell it with a Q because we chose to found this family of ours. We chose to empower them, to advocate for them, to support them. We chose to love them and each other unconditionally. We chose to be there for them and each other constantly because that is family.
Wow! Punchline! Punch! Sorry guys, this is what to do. He's punch. I told you guys, this guy is a punchline guy. He's a punchline guy. Religious advisor. That is family. I just want to highlight a few things. He said, loving unconditionally. This is one of the biggest lies that these woke fanatics use and say. Because they don't love unconditionally. They only love those who accept them. They only love those who support their degeneracy. But once you say no, I don't accept, there's no more love. So it is a lie. They do not love unconditionally. Their love is conditional. Conditional to only those who accept their perspective. So what loving unconditionally are you talking about? You don't love unconditionally. You lust unconditionally. Anything that got to do with sexuality, and sexual identity, you will agree. But once a person changes their beliefs and change their perspective, you will love them unconditionally. What if they say no to you? You will say no more love for you. And this is how they define family. For this kind of people, if family is not the ones who will go to you and tell you, bro, you're doing something wrong, please don't do it anymore, come, let's help you out of this. Or if a person does of a kid does something wrong, you teach them out of it, you help them say, don't do this is wrong, Allah does not allow you to do this, let's come out of it. Or whatever it is. Family for them is not that. That a true family member is not the one who does not support you. A family member is supposed to sit there with you and accept whatever you do, even though it's wrong. That's not a family member. A family member is the one who is willing to tell you no matter what, even though you don't like it, and they want the best for you, that they're willing to go the extra mile to tell you and show you what is right and what is wrong. I know this because I have children. I will do whatever it takes to show my children the right way. I will do whatever it takes to show my family the right way. Even though I will ruffle a few feathers along the way. But what I know for sure is that I'm not doing it violently. I'm not doing it with hate. I'm doing it out of love. And supporting someone doing wrong it doesn't make sense. Your family member has some weird fetish of hitting his children. Are you going to allow it to happen? I support you. This is family supporting each other. You cannot support. Helping that person, supporting that person is taking them out of that situation. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you see your brother, a Muslim brother, hurting somebody, help him. And the Sahaba will help him how? How do you help a Muslim brother who is hurting somebody? Help him by stopping him from doing more harm. What is that? What does that mean? So, these guys have a perverse perspective and understanding of what even a family is. They want the entire world to accept whatever they want to do with their private parts. They want no one to tell them no. They want to go to the holy places and shove their sexuality perversions on people's faces. They don't want you to say, no, you cannot do that. They will tell you, who gives you the right to say no to me? This is what these people are saying. Religious advisors say.
Instead of hate, we chose to create.
See?
We chose to build this family because there is still work to be done. When there is still injustice, loneliness, isolation, abuse, hurt, trauma within our community.
This is their buzzwords.
By our community at the hands of those without humanity. Let us choose to do something about it.
See? People who have religious convictions, holding on to traditional beliefs, whoever you are, Muslims, non-Muslims, Christians, whoever lah in the world who have this idea and understanding of holding on to their faith, according to religious advisor here who went to Oxford, who was ousted by his community, you have no humanity. You are not human beings. And what does it mean? This really is the beginning of fascism. This is how fascism starts. Because when you start calling people non-humans. What does it mean? How do you think Nazi Germany became what it became? It's when they dehumanize people. And when you say people are not humans, this is why you see in countries where protest is allowed.
So it's cowardice, buddy, all around.
You see these events where they are standing up for women's rights, children's rights. You see these trans men, these LGBT fanatics, woke fanatics. They are beating up people there. This is some crazy things that is going on. Just go on to your YouTube and search what these woke fanatics are willing to do because of these ideologies. And you know, one of the things that they will say, look about you, religious people. Look at how religion has caused so much destruction to this earth. And you know, playing into also, I'm sure this religious advisor will agree with this. We say Islam is a very violent religion, and we want to change that. You know, we need to reform Islamic understandings. And I just want to tell you guys that this is one of the biggest rubbish that has been ever proclaimed recently. With all Islamophobia, all the anti-Islamic rhetoric that unfortunately has been allowed to propagate into our societies is a total lie. Atheism or godlessness is the biggest killer in human history. After that, there was Buddhism. You can go and do your research, guys. Do your research. I'm not taking it out of my hand. There's Islam is number 5. Before that, there's Buddhism. Before that, there's Hinduism. There's Buddhism. There's Christianity. This stuff killed more. But number 1 is not these religious guys. It's not us religious guys. It's this atheists. These godless people. They are number 1 in the killing charts. So don't talk to me about violence. People with religious beliefs are very, very the minority. Yes, there's always minority fanatics in every group. But when we look at atheists as a whole, they have the biggest injunctions to violence. And you see this with these woke fanatics. They don't mind being violent, you know. They don't mind because they have the media by their side in these countries.
Yeah. Let us choose to help. Let us choose to act. Yeah. My friends, there are many queer organizations right there by the community tents. Choose one. Choose to do one good for one day, then one week, then 1 month, until it becomes your identity. Because it is our common responsibility as a community, as a family, for our queer posterity.
Wow, my Lord!
That there will come a day when there will be a fair system for all, full justice for all, true equality for all. There will come a day when we can be truly one united people regardless of race, language, and religion.
Wah! Majulah Singapura!
Gender and sexualities. There will come a day when you will look back. You will probably say, I was there. I chose to be there. I chose to be a part of that.
Martin Luther, religious advisor. Martin Luther Azvar.
Right now, at this very moment. That day will come because we choose to use our QUASA, our power and privilege to help, to act. That day will come, my friends, because we made the only choice we ever truly have in this life. Instead of hate, We chose love. Thank you.
Wow! 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 What brilliance! Amazing! Amazing speech by religious advisor! Such a moving. If you guys watched, I saw the clip. There was a clip of him, actually a close clip. This one was quite far. There was a close clip that they put onto their what's it called, onto their Instagram. I saw it after that. He will bounce, like thank you. He like bounce, like he do like a bounce, like bounce, like it's like he has like spring on his legs, and he's like bounce. You see, bounce. But yeah, so there you have it, guys. There you have it. Another long one. I didn't want it to be too long, but I think it's just no choice to make it long. But yeah, just to end this video. It's a long one, but a very important point on the last part. He says that we chose love. One of the most unfortunate things that these postmodernists do is that they will change meanings of words. They will change and bastardize and destroy words. And one of the words they choose to destroy is love. And what they mean by love is lust, And so when you say we reject hate, but we love, and they will give you this, these phrases, love is love, Well, what do you mean love is love? So, you mean all kinds of love is alright? Are you saying that? If all kinds of love is alright, how about pedophilia love, or incest love, or animal love? Is that okay? Or if you say love is love, then you will probably say one of Hamza Sotri says very nice. Hamza says this. He says, how about water and water? Water is water. Drink out of a toilet bowl. It's water. This is one of the most. This is called sophistry, where they use words and they bastardize words and they destroy the meanings of words to suit their agenda, to suit their perceptions and ideologies. And we must reject this, and we must combat this intellectually and speak to people, educate people. None of what I'm trying to say to you is encouraging violence. None. There's nothing in my words to say that I'm asking anybody to be violent. No. If your inclination is to be violent about this, means you're an idiot. There's no violence needed. The mind and the words are powerful enough. We need to change people's hearts and minds, not violence at all. We have no time for violence. It's not worth a single cent or energy for us to put ourselves in such situations. And they won't fight anyway, unless they want to go into like a boxing fight or something like that. But anyway, I want to challenge Irie and the QUASA team, all 6 of them, to a discussion. Let's have a discussion, QUASA.SG, and to put up your case. Show us, prove to us, what do you mean, and stop hiding behind your close group surroundings. You out of the Oxford, you graduate from Oxford, prestigious Oxford. I don't have any. I'm just like I only a diploma. I just read some books. I'm not that intelligent. I don't have any paper credentials like yours. You went to Cairo. You have Islamic studies. So, come on. Like let's put it to the test. Oxford guy, let's sit down and discuss openly. Let the people see it. Let the people hear what you have to say. And hopefully, after that session, you will be and your cause your noble cause will be chucked into the rubbish bin where it belongs. So next one, guys. Assalamualaikum.